Badlands. Minecraft's forgotten wastes. Miles of red rock carved with canyons crisscrossing across the map like spiderwebs. We can all agree these biomes are majestic, but can someone survive in just a Badlands? For 100 days? Well, today my foxy friend Millie and I are going to attempt just that. Join us as we try to not only survive, but thrive. There's something about terrain like this that just feels warm. And it's probably just all of the reds and the yellows in the blocks around me, but I just love the vibe altogether. But anyways, I need to get some tools, so let's just grab as many of these bushes as we can to get some sticks. Where did I see those trees? Are they over here? Oh yeah, up there. Okay. It's probably also a good idea to make sure we collect the saplings from these trees because I don't know if there are going to be many more, to be honest. Oh, one has already dropped. Oh, and you know what? These pumpkins will be perfect for a little bit of food. Now let's quickly get ourselves down into this opening and grab ourselves some stone so we can get our tools. I do not like the look of that. Hopefully the sun will take care of this guy and I don't have to touch him because the little ones are pretty hard to get rid of. Just die already, please. Ah! There we go. Let's very quickly grab some of this stone and hopefully that skeleton that was just there does not see us. I don't have the ingredients to be able to make pumpkin pie, but I do have a flint knife and a chopping board, which will make us some pumpkin slices, which we can hopefully snack on. The cutting board and the knife are part of the Farmer's Delight mod, and I am so glad that I have it because that is making this whole thing way easier right now. I did see over here there was an indication of a mine shaft. There we go. Which means somewhere there should be some of this. Which means we get string because I do not see any sheep around here. In fact, I don't see much of anything around here. Now we can put our furnace down, our bed down, and a double chest down, and we're about ready to head out for some more materials. Setting out across the red cliffs, I headed underground for iron, coal, and deep slate. Once I had all that taken care of, I looted a lush cave for clay, azalea, and entirely by accident, emeralds. On my way out, I found some melon seeds in a mine shaft. Then I gathered terracotta, mud, more oak, and sand for glass. Okay, so I managed to find some melon seeds in one of the mine shafts I was in, which should tide us over on the food front once the pumpkin slices run out. So it's definitely the priority to get these planted first. So let's get this farm going. So I'm just adding in some sort of random detailing here with our oak trapdoors and oak slabs. Okay, I just said this was random, but now I'm realizing I'm actually just covering the corners. I don't know why I said it was random, but anyways, that is the detailing done. Let's dig out this sand here and then we can get to work putting down the dirt and tilling it and actually planting our seeds. So let's get our dirt down and let's make a couple holes for water. And now that's done, we can till all of this land. Now to plant all of these, we're definitely going to need to use our trusty watering can, but first let's just put down what we can. Let's use the watering can and hopefully we'll get some melons. Looks like we have one melon come through, which is really good to see because I was worried that none of them were going to come through. But anyways, I'm just going to plant a few of these saplings that I found just to make sure we've got some trees. Oh, and we have another melon. So I think what we're going to need to do here is harvest this. Oh, maybe not with an axe because we want the seeds, right? Okay, sorry. I was having a dumb moment then. Obviously, I just put the melon slices into my little crafty thing and then it turned the melon slices into seeds. Hopefully, I'm leaving enough space for them to all grow in. That should be good, I think. Oh, we have another one. Okay, I think that should be good now. I'm just going to watering can all of these so that we have some fully grown vines. And then hopefully that just means that the melons will start to grow in a little bit quicker. Okay, that's looking good. And that sun is going down so fast. Oh my goodness. Let's get back up this, is this a mountain? I guess it is a mountain. Let's get back up the mountain so we can get to bed before something scary spawns on us. Alright, so we got our farm squared away yesterday, so now we can get started on the house. Let's see what we can do for our foundation, and then hopefully we'll have enough time to squeeze in the frame. Okay, nice. Let's build up all of these posts. One more, and then we can start joining everything up. So let's start by filling in all of these areas here behind these posts with this brown terracotta. And I think it's brown terracotta, of course it is. Sometimes it says it's a color of terracotta, but it looks completely different. As an example, the blue terracotta looks very much purple. Anyways, now that's done, let's run around and do a square of these mud bricks. And now that's done, let's add in some stairs between each of these posts. And now that's all done, we can fill in these gaps here with our mud brick slabs. And add some extra details to these posts with these trapdoors. And for the last step of the foundation, let's get this thing filled in. And now for the frame, I'm just going to place some more oak logs. And I'm going to have some water to jump down into because food is quite limited, so we don't want to waste it by just breaking our ankles. Millie, if you could stop doing that, that would be great, because as well as food being limited, wood is pretty limited, even though we do have a renewable source over here. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Now let's join up all of these posts with extra oak, and then we'll build up the second floor. For floor 2, we're going to go up 4. I was really hoping that wouldn't hurt my feet, but I guess it does. And now those are done, we can join these up with our oak logs, and that should be our frame finished. So because I'm going for this kind of Wild West sort of vibe, the walls and the roof of this bad boy should be pretty easy to sort out. For the walls here, I'm using a mix of these orange terracotta tiles from the chipped mod along with some regular orange terracotta. Keeping it simple, but with a little bit of texture and variation without overcomplicating things. Perfect for that sun-baked desert outpost look we're going for. With that being said, let's get the rest of these walls put in. I'd say those walls went up so smoothly, and since I'm not planning to be super fancy with this roof, I don't think that'll take long either. I'm just using a couple varieties of deep slate for the roof here. I think the dark tone is going to contrast really nicely with all of the orange terracotta. I did consider using wood, but I only have oak on hand, and honestly, I think that the brownness of it would just blend into the surroundings a bit too much. So deep slate it is. It's moody, bold, and just the right amount of drama for this build. And just like that, we have a house with a roof, but it is still looking a bit plain and a little bit ugly, if I'm honest. But for now, let's get ourselves up the mountain so that we can go take a nap, and then we can get to work on the exterior details. So I do think I'm gonna try and take my time with the exterior details, just because this whole Western American frontier town aesthetic thing isn't one that I'm super used to building. Alright, let's get to work on this porch. So I'm just gonna temporarily put some of these logs across here so that I can place logs facing this way. And now that's done, we can get some details on the front of this porch. So I think I want to do campfires along here, then we'll switch to a couple of those. Now that's done, let's put all of these out, and then let's add in a row of mud bricks. Then we can go ahead and add in a few campfires, a few trapdoors, and then just keep going along and adding the campfires and trapdoors, and hopefully not any more of these palisades. And now that's done, I'm just going to put a temporary row of these oak logs here so that we can do the same thing again, placing the oak logs up this way. Then we can do our campfire, our trapdoors, and a campfire and more trapdoors. Now that that's done, we're definitely giving a more Wild West vibe, right? And now is probably a good time to get some windows in here. So I'm just going to take out these ones here and these ones here. Then obviously fill them in with our glass for the windows. Then add a couple campfires to detail the top of the windows. And a couple of fence gates on each one for supports. Then I'm going to do the same on this area here. Then up here, I'm just going to do a single window and do the same thing with the fence gate. And now I'm going to get to work on a big fat chimney up the side of this house. And now the chimney's done, I'm just going to add in some extra details here. And I think I'm going to run across and add campfires all the way along here. And as nice as it would be for that to be fully lit up, I do have to put them all out because they're just here for details. Then underneath these, I'm going to add in some palisades, or at least try to, maybe just on those ones. I think what I'm going to do is grab this one. And then we'll break these right here and then put the palisades all the way down like that. And that should look a little bit better. And with that done, let's run in and add some of these oak fence gates to the top of here for extra details. I'd say we're looking pretty good right now, but it's me and I cannot resist jumping up on the roof of anything I build and placing a bunch of leaves. I am going to have to get rid of a few of these blocks though to be able to get the leaves to sit normally on this part, because obviously I've placed a bunch of trapdoors and campfires. Maybe if I just place the leaves first, then I can sort of gauge where I need to get rid of these trapdoors. Okay guys, you know what? I don't hate it, and I'm not looking away for any other reason than this guy being right next to me. Goodness. But you know what? I do think that's a pretty good job. Well done. Is that the saying? I don't know. But Millie, what do you think? Great. Okay, on that note, there are a lot of scary things coming towards me, so let's get inside. So I spent the night just building up this second floor here, and I think we're good to go on the interior details. And if you've been here before, you may remember that doing the interiors is one of my favorite things, and I'm definitely excited to do these interiors because it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I can keep the same sort of layouts that I would usually do, but I am going to struggle a little bit because I do have limited resources. But let's get all of this stuff placed down and see what I can do with the place. Okay, I'd say that's looking pretty good for the living room. I really love this bear head. It was made by getting a cod and then surrounding it by wood, which is a really easy craft, by the way. I'm surprised I haven't used that more often. I added these doors in right here because I kind of wanted it to look like a cabinet, but I didn't really have enough space to put a full cabinet, so I hope that translates. But now that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and put a dining table right here, and luckily I got some dark oak from the mine shaft, so we were able to get something other than normal oak. Although I didn't manage to get very much, so pretty much just this dining table will be dark oak. I have a few cups here too, which will just add to the vibes in general. And I have this chandelier block, which I feel like fits the vibe also. In this space here, I'm gonna do the kitchen, and I'm gonna go with a couple of these counters here because I feel like that gives the sort of Western vibe. And then let's do the stove in the middle and surround that with some brick walls. Then let's bring this around here. Ooh, I don't know if I like that connecting like that. Maybe if I use this drawer block. Yeah, okay, that looks a little bit better. Let's do that. Let's do this and then put our sink front of the window here. Let's also add in a couple of these normal oak cabinets, and then I have these counters which will look nice as a little island thing. I can't remember what it's called when the counter comes out from the wall and isn't technically an island, because obviously it's not an island because you can't walk all the way around it, but whatever. And with a few extra details completed, that is the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen done. Upstairs, I've added this little work corner with our chipped tables and our normal table and some furnaces. And then through here we have a very large bedroom. So we've obviously got our lovely bed and a bunch of storage cabinets, and we have a little desk with nothing on because resources are limited. I have some more dead bushes for extra detail, and then we have a secondary living room, which is really cute, to be honest. So that is our interiors done. I think we did a really good job, and it's just about the right time to take a nap. That was certainly more refreshing than sleeping out on top of the hill. And now all of that's done, we should probably go over to our farm and see what's going on over there. Okay, it seems like the melons are doing pretty well, so let's get these harvested, and then I think we should expand the farm to get a few more planted. All right, we are all harvested. Another one has popped up, but we'll leave it there for now. Let's build out our second part of the farm. So I'm just going to use the trapdoors and the slabs to expand this, and I'm not going to bother with the wood underneath because I feel like that's a waste of resources for this. Now that's done, let's dig out all of this sand here so that we can place some dirt down to be able to plant our melons. Okay, I would say that looks more than ready to have some melon seeds planted. So let's try and space these out in a way where they will definitely grow. I actually don't know the rules for this, so if anybody wants to let me know down below, I will happily read your comments and retain the information. Okay, I think that should be good. It's kind of hard to tell when there are no melons growing in. At least over here I can kind of gauge where there's a double space where a melon should be able to grow in, but I think I have all of them covered. You know what? Maybe one here will do well. Oh no. Wait. Okay, yeah, we might be fine. In the meantime, let's water all of our seeds here so that we can get some melons a little bit quicker. Okay, I would say that is a successful farm expansion. Let's head back to the house to repair my tools and get ready to head out for some more materials. As I was running back from gathering more coal, iron, clay, and granite, I ran into a wandering trader who I was able to trade with for a spruce sapling and wheat seeds. After I planted and harvested a bunch of spruce with my trusty water bucket, I planted and gathered enough wheat to make a bunch of hay bales. Once that was done, I topped off my dirt and azalea. Right, so I don't know if you remember, but I noticed some cows up by where we found those trees earlier at the start of this challenge, and I think it'd be helpful to have them near the house. So we are gonna get some sort of ranch style setup going. Let's hit the frame and the foundation today. Okay, that's our outline done. Now let's build up our frame. Then we're gonna have to use a water bucket here because we're gonna hurt our ankles otherwise. Let's strip all of that, get back up to the top, grab our water, and build up our next post. To be honest, I could probably grab this water here and then just place it in the middle, and then... Well, I did just kind of want to... Maybe if I place this and then place some water? Yeah, okay. That spreads out a little bit more, and then I can just build up all of the sides and jump into the middle. The only issue with that is that I can't quite reach the top, but it's fine. We have to get up there again anyway, so we can just do that another time. Alright, now those are done, we can join them up. So let's just go all the way across. And then strip them. Then let's use our spruce slabs to connect up these pieces. And then we'll go across here and just keep doing that back and forth until the whole thing is joined up. And that is our frame and foundation complete. I will say I am loving these simpler base structures of these builds because it takes me no time at all. Okay, so let's get these walls and roof sorted on this barn. We got to make sure we keep our little cows warm and dry. Although we are technically in a desert, so I don't think it'll be raining anytime soon. So I'm just carrying all of these logs and planks all the way up to the top, and then obviously stripping all of the oak. I do kind of regret putting these spruce planks, what are they? Spruce slabs, sorry. On the top here, because then when I get to the top, I hit my head and can't place all of the blocks. I could just take them off, but instead I'm going to do this instead. Then let's place some water. Let's break this. And strip all of those. And we can travel back up and grab our water. Okay, actually before I do the rest, I do want to sort out the entrance here. So let's go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Then let's do the oak planks. Millie, could you move please? Thank you. Then let's do this and then get rid of that one. Then in this gap here, let's do some stairs, and I think that should be good for that bit of the entrance. Ooh, maybe I need to bring it down a level actually. Okay, nice. That looks good. Now let's bring some stairs all the way across here. And the same on the other side. Then let's get up here and mark out these bits. And now that's done, let's get to work on building up the rest of these walls. Okay, perfect. Let's get up here and get started on the roof. Millie, you're in charge of making sure I don't fall. As she almost pushes me off of the block. So for the roof here, I'm gonna do a little double trap door moment here, and then we'll carry this along just like this. Then for the actual roof part, I'm gonna do these brick stairs and brick slabs. I think I'm gonna do a double slab here. Wait, no, let's do a slab along here and then do stair right here. And then we can do upside down stair, normal stair, and then slab in the middle. Okay, that should be good. So now let's just run along here and fill in all of those. Yeah, okay, I think that looks good. Let's get the rest of this done. I worked into and through the night to finish up our cattle barn roof, and luckily the roof is fairly safe at night since all the scary things tend to hang out down on the ground. That meant I didn't need to spend a whole other day just getting the structure in place, which is always a win. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a busy day because I want to get the exteriors for the barn done, the interiors, and the pasture fences, but I do think we can do it if we do it one step at a time, starting with the exteriors. I'm just adding this little extra bit on the side to make the barn look a little bit less blocky. Looking good. Now let's just add in a few of these trapdoors for windows. Oh, that's not right. And on the front here, I'm also going to add a couple canopies to again make it look a little less blocky. So along the front here, let's do a little row of trapdoors. And then let's just do a couple rows of stairs. Actually, I think I'm going to have to put the stairs along this row here. And then, oh my goodness, I'm misplacing everything. Then we can use that to be able to place these ones. And then let's put trapdoors all the way along this bit, and then that connects up to the barn and it should look all nice and good. Okay, sweet. Now let's do the same on this side. And whilst we're up here, let's also add in some of these fence gates for extra details right here. Okay, that's our exterior sorted for now. Let's get inside and place all of this dirt to make our interiors. Okay, I kept it pretty simple, but I think it looks really good. I am just going to run along here though and change all of this to dirt path because I think it will just look a lot better. Okay, and just like that, it is already nighttime, so we better hustle and get all of these fences down. Okay, that is the fences down, and now I've got to put all of these up on the posts so that the scary things cannot actually just jump over the blocks. Now to try and stop things from spawning too close by, let's build up some lanterns for the entrance. We'll do a palisade and then 2 fences. It does feel kind of funny building with these guys right here just trying to get at me and they just can't quite reach me. Okay, I do hear a spider, so it's quite likely that that's going to come get me, but we are pretty safe. Let's place down some of these hay bales. Ah, there it is. And then let's also place some hay bales over here. And I think the only thing left to do here is to cover the roof in leaves. And I'm mostly only doing it because my house has all the leaves. So I think it would look strange if this didn't also have leaves all over it. And with the tiny bit of time we have, let's get up on top of this mountain to grab the cows. Oh my gosh, that sun comes up as quick as it goes down. Okay, I need you and you. I feel like I saw 4 earlier, but that was a very long time ago. So let's take these 3 back to the barn, and then we're gonna have to head out immediately for some more materials. All right, guys, into the barn. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to separate them. I might just have to leave them in here. They'll be safe though. They can just wander around, right? Actually, let me give you some food so we get a couple more cows. And that's my cue to head out for some materials. But just quickly, how cute does this barn look? I immediately headed underground to begin the task of collecting enough string for wool, diamonds for my tools, and an enchantment table. And then coming through enough mine shafts to collect books for bookshelves. Once that was sorted, I topped off my coal, iron, and oak before heading back to chop down some spruce. Okay, so I could build another house for my storage area, or I could build a covered wagon, and a covered wagon feels much cooler, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, we are obviously not looking much like a wagon just yet, but trust me, it will look good when we're done. So I'm just adding in these stairs like this to look like wheels. Do I need more of a space between them? I'm not sure. No, I think that should be fine. Okay, now that's done. Let's add in a couple trapdoors right here, and then we'll do a row of oak trapdoors. Oh, not oak trapdoors. Spruce slabs along the edge here. Oh, actually, that is gonna look strange with the wheels just being like directly connected to that. So let's bring these out more like this. And then let's do the same on the other side. Now that's done, we can go ahead and add in our little covered bit. And then let's add some spruce stair details, get rid of these middle 2, add in a couple trapdoors. And then let's make sure we can get up to this thing by adding in some extra stairs right here. You know, building this wagon has reminded me of a time when I was like 9 in school, and we went on an overnight class trip to this horse farm. And instead of staying in cabins, we stayed in these covered wagons, and it was crazy. The wind would blow on the tarps and make it sound like drums at night, which was a little bit spooky, but it was low-key so much fun. Okay, I tweaked our barrels a little bit, but that is our storage wagon complete. So today we are doing an enchantment area, and the way I want to do this is by sort of doing a saloon type vibe. But first we're gonna need a frame and foundation, so let's get that done. Okay, we are looking pretty good. Let's get rid of this sand here so that we can replace it with some spruce to finish our foundation. And just like that, our foundation is finished. So now let's get to work on the frame, and I'm just gonna place down my safety water so that we can go 1, 2, 3 and just jump right down without having to break our ankles. So that post there is 7 tall, and then I need to make this one 10 tall, I think. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. And let's make sure to strip this wood whilst we're up here, because we're obviously not going to be able to reach from the floor. Okay, that's our frame looking pretty good. Let's finish this off by doing some extra details around these posts here. So we'll do stairs and then slabs and then trapdoors in between. I guess between these two we're just gonna do the trapdoors. Oh my gosh, that sun is going down. I better get a move on. Oh, what am I doing? I need to put the slabs down. You know, when I end up running overtime like this, I tend to panic more often, and then I make more mistakes, which makes me take more time to do things. Anyway, let's get all of this trapdoor and slab and stairs put down, and then we can run inside to bed. Okay, looking good, and just in time for this guy to not bother me. So the frame and foundation are looking all good. Let's get these walls up. And I'm pretty sure we'll have enough time to do the roof too. For these lower walls, I'm gonna do a row of the palisades, and then in between here, do some windows. Ooh, actually, let's do double windows. Then in this gap, we'll take out these and take out these, and then replace them with some oak logs and then strip them. Okay, cute. Let's do the same on the other side. Under here, let's do double windows if I can reach. Oh, I can. Good. Let's block that off with some palisades, and should we do windows along here too? I mean, I guess we should. Then let's bring these posts all the way down to the floor, and then let's do palisades and some windows. Okay, the walls were easy enough. Now let's get to work on the roof, which is gonna be a little bit more difficult because we're gonna get a little fancy with this. So we've placed those. Let's do a palisade and then upside down stairs. Let's get ourselves up here and make sure to get rid of that so that we don't leave it behind. And then on top of here, let's do spruce trapdoor, and then we'll have to do one on this level and then add a slab to the top of that. Then let's add some stairs this way, then that, then some stairs this way, maybe palisade. And we definitely need to bring this up and then add one of these. Oh wait, no. Let's go all the way across. Make sure those get stripped. And we should be good to carry on. Okay, that should be good for this part of the roof. Let's get down to here and add some extra details, which technically this isn't a roof, I guess, but it is the roof of the porch. Anyways, let's get this wood here stripped, and then let's add some of these. Oh, not there. Let's add some of these on this level. Now let's place a bunch of spruce stairs all the way along here. Oh my goodness, I almost fell. And it looks like this is going to be another one where I'm working into the night. So now that's done, I'm going to place campfires all the way along here. Yeah, okay. Just making sure I was doing it on the right level. Now that's done, let's fill in all of these gaps with spruce trapdoors. Okay, now that's all done. Let's run along and put out all of these campfires. And now we can head to bed. Ouch. So today is all about the exterior details. Let's see what we can put together and what kind of magic we can work, but to be honest, it is already looking really cool. I think we definitely need to get back up onto the roof though and add some more details. So let's go for palisades up here just to add a little bit of dimension because everything is pretty flat up here. And then let's hang some lanterns, and we should probably get up there and also add them there. Oh, of course I can't place that there. Then on either side of these windows here, let's take this out and then replace that with some stairs. Add a couple fences and then create like a triangle thing over this window. Okay, now that bit's done. Let's add in some trapdoors on these parts for extra details. And maybe on these parts here where the wood sort of crosses each other. Let's also cut out a few holes right here for windows. And since the glass doesn't really line up with the palisades very well, I've got fence gates which do line up with the palisades. So now let's add in a couple of those, and then let's do the same to the other side. Now let's do something a little crazy and cover this thing in leaves because we have never done that before to a build, ever. Okay, we are looking pretty good. I just love how leaves make everything look better. But for now, let's add something under here. So let's do fence gates like this and then add those. Now let's add a few tables and chairs. Leave a gap. We'll do chairs and then more tables. And then on the back porch here, let's cover this in spruce slabs. Actually, let's bring this out an extra block to make sure it's not weird and flat. And then back here, I'm just going to block it all off with normal fences. I'd say that's looking pretty good. Honestly, probably my favorite build yet. For this video, not ever. And the interiors are up. So I've made it look saloony with this big bar right here. And then we have the sort of general dining / drinking area. And I incorporated more of these trophy things because I feel like they just really fit the vibe. But obviously this is meant to be an enchantment area. So I've definitely added an enchantment area and a little hangout spot right here and a bunch of books to make it look more like it fits in with everything else. Then I've extended the windows down either side so that we can actually get outside. Oh, but I have not done that correctly. So let me just fix those a second. And with that, the sun has come up and it is time to head out for some more materials. After restocking my food because I've just realized how low I am on bread. Getting more spruce and oak out of the way rather quickly, I moved on to topping off my iron and coal as well as some diamonds for future tool repairs. Once that was sorted, I gathered some stone and more clay for bricks. Okay, home sweet home. We are looking pretty good actually. So I was thinking, what sort of Wild West town would this be if we didn't have a mining area? Not a very good one, that's for sure. So today is going to be a lot of digging and then tomorrow we can get to the decorating of our mine shaft. I hope that the sound of zombies nearby means that there is a cave, and it looks like there is. So let me just dig out this area right here, and I am hoping that this opens up into a proper mine. Oh, yep, it does, it does, it does. Is that guy gonna come up? I think he is. It'd be kind of cool if you could explode and do a bit of the digging for me, but honestly, that didn't really do a lot. Okay, so that's one mine entrance done, or like one mine way done. Anyway, let's finish digging out this way, and then hopefully there is also a bit of cave to pop out into in this direction. I'm pretty sure there will be because this cave probably comes around eventually to this side. And there we have it. We are in another cave, but I'm pretty sure it's the same cave. All right, now that our mine is all dug out, we can start to decorate this thing. So let's start with the entrance. And just like that, we're looking pretty cute. Let's add in some of these barrels so that we have a little bit more going on up here. Then on this side, I'm going to use some of these flower pots that kind of look like little tiny barrels. Okay, nice. Looking even better. And now in here, let's get to work on making it look like this mine is actually supported. So let's add in those. Let's add in some upside down spruce stairs. And then in the middle here, we'll do a trapdoor and make sure these are stripped. And then let's add some fences, being careful to not look into this guy's eyes. Oh my gosh, there's two of them. I do always feel like they're trying to get me to stare at them though. Because I do need to go over there right now. I'm just trying to mind my business and get this done, but I am very, very conscious of what's going on around me. Oh, he's kind of right where I need to be right now. How do I do this? Ah! Let's get our spruce stairs in, just staring at the ceiling, not looking in anybody's eyes. What is going on? Another one of them just spawned, right? Or am I seeing things? Oh, yes, see? Three of them! Three of them in my little mine here. They're really not that much of a bother, but it is very difficult when they're stood right in front of you trying to stare into your eyes. Ah! I feel like that one was a bit close. I'm literally building on the edge of my seat right now. I am so worried about what they're about to do. Okay, I think we're all done with these posts here now. So now let's just run back through and add in some leaf details and also make sure we've got this place lit up. Do I want to hang lanterns from here or probably from the wall, right? Actually, I'm going to use some more of these fences and then just hang a couple of lanterns from a few of those. And that should be the final lantern for our mine shaft. So we've got all of our little details on the sides here. Got a few crafting tables, got a few furnaces and blast furnaces, and I think we might be good here. Oh yeah, we are definitely done here. That looks super cute. Ah! Oh, I can't believe that just happened to me. Oh no. I will go back and clean up those holes later, but for now it is time for me to go to bed. That was crazy. All right, mine shaft and holes dealt with. Let's move on to the next thing. And honestly, I feel like maybe I should have built this sooner, but I didn't, and that's okay. We are building it now. It is time for the village well. Okay, that's looking good. Let's build up the roof part of our well. Let's do this. Do we go 2 tall or just the 1 tall? Let's do 2 tall. Oh, I guess I don't even need to jump because I have the little wall here that's giving me a little bit of a height boost. But now I do need to get up on top of the thing anyway, so doesn't really matter. Oh, ouch. What I am doing is building the roof. So let's place all of these slabs right here. Then we will do a double thing here and then bring this out with a stair. Oh, if I could please, that would be nice. Thank you. Then in these gaps here, let's do spruce trapdoors and then top off this middle bit with the slab. Then on each of these corners here, let's do campfires. Oh, ouch. Oh, I'm gonna have to make a couple more of those. All right, that is looking cute. And oh my goodness, that sun is going down. So let's light this thing up. Final lantern, then let's hang a chain from the middle and a flower pot to look like the bucket. And that is our village well completed. Let's go get a good night's sleep, then we'll head out for some more materials tomorrow, and something is chasing me. Okay, we're safe. I repaired a ruined portal I found and then headed to the nether for blackstone and nether bricks. Once that was done, I gathered iron and coal, as well as diamonds to repair my tools. Then I gathered more stone and headed back to get spruce from the farm. So I feel like a little train tracks and train situation could be really cute, so let's get some train tracks started. I did think very briefly of doing this in Create, but then I had flashbacks to my other Create video that I did and the whole train situation there, and very quickly decided against it. So, since the ground is pretty uneven, I'm deciding to work with the terrain instead of against it. Mostly to save time, but also because I think it'll actually look more natural that way. Not that there's anything natural about train tracks at all. But anyways, I'm going to offset each section slightly when we drop down or go up a block, and hopefully it'll just read as some wiggly, charming tracks winding through the area. Hopefully it doesn't look weird that it doesn't keep going forever. I don't know. It feels like the edge of a very large drop is a good place to end the train tracks. Now it is time for the moment of truth. Does this look good being offset? I forgot that I can sit down on stairs. Or does it look bad and we're just gonna have to deal with it? Hey, you know what? I'd say that looks pretty good. Let's do a little zoom in. I feel like it would not be a very comfy train ride if you were riding on those tracks, but I think it looks great. So let's get ourselves to bed and get ready to build a whole train tomorrow. I will say that doing this with vanilla-ish blocks is presenting its own challenges, but this is definitely way more fun than doing a Create train. My brain does not hurt nearly as much as it would otherwise. Unfortunately though, this train won't be moving. And also, if any of you are watching this wondering what the heck Create is, that is a mod that can make things move. Okay, this is going to be the front of the train, but I have no idea if this is even looking like the front of a train so far. Oh, yep, no, not at all, but I'm sure it will eventually. So I'm just building out one of the carriages and I've got a feeling I'm very quickly going to run out of materials here. So we'll get done what we can, but we obviously are going to have to go back into the nether to get some more materials. Okay, up close, it's not looking too much like a train right now, but from far away, we are definitely cooking up something. I think with just a few more carriages on the back, it will sell it a bit more, but I'm happy with how it's going so far. After a quick trip back to the nether for more nether bricks and blackstone, I headed to the waste to pick up some cacti. Then I headed underground for coal, iron, dirt, gravel, and azaleas. Once that was sorted, I topped off my woods before heading home. Alright, home sweet home. Let's get this train finished up, why don't we? So I'm just gonna add in a few more carriages to the train, and I think once those are in place, it'll be way more obvious what I'm going for here. With a few extra cars, it should start looking a lot more like an actual train and less like a weird stack of blocks in the middle of nowhere. Okay, the train being offset, or even the track being offset, is throwing me off slightly. So trying to figure out how to do this other carriage is a little bit difficult. I think I just need to bring the stairs right out to the edge here and we should be okay. Does that look good? I mean, it makes sense. So we'll just stick with that. Now let's do a row of our red nether bricks and do the same over here. And then we'll build up the sides with some of this blackstone. Then along here, let's do some of these walls. And I should probably remember to also fill in this part. Okay, that is the extra 2 carts added. Now let's add in some gravel for freight. I think that's the word I was looking for there. And you know what? I feel like that was in fact really cool. I think with all of this in the background as well, let me just run over to the other side. It's gonna look super, super cool. Okay, yeah, I was totally right about that. That looks awesome. I decided to spend the next few days building up a crazy canyon bridge since I got totally inspired by the train and its tracks. Having lots of houses and buildings is always fun, but I think it's also super important to add in some scenic builds to tell more of a story and bring a bit of realism to the area. The idea is that it should feel like people have actually settled here and made adjustments to the landscape to make their lives easier, as humans do. It'd be kind of strange to have a full-on settlement with no surrounding changes, right? And I feel like the bridge helps it feel more like a living, evolving space, not just a cluster of buildings plonked in the wild. And there we go. We have another super duper cool thing to look at. I just absolutely love adding in these little extra builds that add a bit of story to the area because otherwise it's just a bunch of houses. And don't get me wrong, I do really love houses, but this is just another level. Alright, so you know that we're starting to wrap things up when I pivot to doing paths, so it is that time again, guys. Let's get these paths taken care of. I'm just sticking to dirt and rough dirt from the chipped mod, mostly to keep things looking simple while still tying everything together with that well-worn traveled feel. But also, let's be real, resources are kind of tricky to come by out here, and I'm also not totally sure what else would even look good alongside all of the bright orange sand. I feel like the dirt blends just enough to feel natural, but still stands out enough to guide you through the space. Sometimes the low effort path really is the best option. Okay, our paths are all done and looking good. Now I'm just going to run across the train tracks here and we're going to start adding in some extra details here with some fences and trapdoors on top of each of these. Oh, almost missed one. Oh wait, that's at the end of a different path. Never mind, I'll do it right now because I probably will forget it otherwise. Okay, those are looking pretty good. Let's get down from here and let's head to bed. And it is lighting time, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get this sorted. As always, we're going to keep the lighting pretty simple, just a few fences and trapdoors with some lanterns hanging from them to create some lovely little street lamps. At this point, it is a signature combination, but it never fails. They give the area a warm glow without being too flashy, and it fits right in with the rest of the area here. Now I just need to do that a few more times and then all of our lighting will be done. Alright, before we move on to the final details, I was thinking how cute would it be to add some telephone poles or telegraph wires. Are they the same thing? I genuinely have no idea, but either way, a few posts with wires stretched between them would fit the vibe perfectly, especially running alongside the train tracks. I think it's gonna add another little touch of perceived functionality and really help sell the idea of a connected, lived-in world. Like, people actually use this space, you know? Okay, I think that's probably enough telephone poles. Now let's join these things up. So I'm just gonna use chains to create the look. How am I gonna do this? Can I just place that there? No, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna have to put that up, then do that. Then I can put it back down and hopefully I can walk across this with no problem. Okay, I definitely have the feeling that this is gonna take me a little while. I think we've got about half of the day left, so it should be fine, but also we're up high, so as long as no skeletons spawn at night, which obviously they always do, but we can hope. As long as they don't, we won't fall, and we'll be fine just finishing this off. I am realizing how quick my chain supply is going down though, and we're probably gonna have to smelt a little bit more iron. And just like that, we have completed telephone poles. It's definitely very hard to see from a distance, but I do think they've added to the area successfully. And oh my goodness, that sun is going down. Bittersweetly, we are at the point of the video where I add in all of the extra details that I thought of, but hadn't quite got the chance to add in yet. So let's just run through and add all of these little details and stick around for the grand reveal. Okay, all of the barrels and the hay bales are all added to the area. Now let's just run around and add in a bunch of cactuses. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have enough time for them to grow in, but just in case, I'm only going to place a few and then I can run back around and just build them up myself if I need to. And just like that, our time in the Badlands is complete. As the sun sank below the red-stained cliffs and our sleepy little settlement quieted down for the night, I knew we had not only survived, but managed to tame the wild desert. From our house to the train and the bridge, I considered this a job well done. My name is Em, this is Millie, and you have all been amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.